it's an interesting thing, and I concede that it's a bit inside baseball. But one of the problems that we have is our system. We have a charter, which is like a constitution, and it requires that we have 5 city commissioners, 2 of whom are elected at large across the whole city, and then 1 for each of the districts on alternate 2 years, so 4-year terms. And we've just changed the elections from the spring and off cycle to a general election cycle. Now, the people that didn't want that said that the elections would get buried in the general election cycle and that nobody would pay any attention. Well, we're going to find out soon enough because this summer we're going to have a primary in each of the districts, although at the moment there'll only be a primary in District 2, which is basically west of the trail. District 1 only has 1 candidate nominated so far. District 3 has just 2, so they'll just go straight to a general at this time. As far as participation in District 2, we got 4 people running for 1 seat. We got the incumbent, Liz Alpert, myself, Jerry Wells, and Terry Turner. Whoever wins, one could argue it's different middle-aged face on sitting around a dais and a camel's a horse designed by committee, and I tend to agree with that. It's almost impossible to get 5 people to agree. Now, some people say, well, that's good, you get compromise, but compromise isn't necessarily the best result or best outcome, and I do think it's time that we put to the electorate as a matter for a referendum the question of whether we'd want to go to a strong mayor, weak city commission, for want of a better term. At the moment, we essentially do have that because the city manager is essentially the mayor to all practical purposes, but he's not really accountable except to the city commission. I think I could see a better way to do that. I think we could elect a mayor every 2 years. That would stop them being too ensconced and too boss mayor. 2 years wouldn't be enough time to do any terrible harm, and they would have to have an eye on public opinion all the way down the line. I think that would be a good way to manage that. You'd still have a city commission, an advisory council, if you will, but I think a strong mayor, it would be accountable. You'd be in a position where you'd say, okay, so there's the budget, that's on him. There's the law and order, that's on him. What are their policies as far as that's concerned? So in terms of making a change, as I've said lots of times about lots of things, if you change nothing, nothing changes. The current system tends to give you averaged decisions. I'd like to see something a bit more decisive, and that's why I'd like to see us to go to a strong man.